Good morning, everyone. I am Pranali, your host for today. I welcome each and everyone for today's Sadgun Summit. This is our 281 virtual webinar. Topic for today is Empathy in Action, the leadership superpower in today's workplace, which shall be taken by Mr. Neil Ramesh, sir. Agenda for the Sadgun Summit. Virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Mr. Neil Ramesh, question and answer session, closing session. Dr. Sundar Kataria, Chairman and Managing Director of ICS Group Companies, Sadgun Sangh conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. His designation and organization, Chairman and Managing Director of International Certification Services Private Limited, Academic Qualification, Mechanical Engineering, Honorary Doctorate, Business Management, Experience, Nuclear RAP. He started his career in building India's first nuclear power plant at Rawatbhatta, Kota, Rajasthan. Oil and gas EIL. He contributed in developing India's first oil and gas field at Bombay High since its inception. DNV, he was a head of industry and offshore development with DNV for 2 decades. ICS, he is a founder of a first Indian conformity assessment and inspection body known as International Certification Services Private Limited, which is a provider of a total quality solution under single umbrella with a wide spectrum of services. Achievements and awards. Lifetime Achievement Award of NACE Cocon received several national and international awards. Now I request Dr. Sundar Kataria sir to virtually inaugurate today's session.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. Introduction of the keynote speaker. Mr. Neil Ramesh, sir. Designation and organization, founder and director of Association of Business Leaders and Entrepreneurs, ABLE, Navi Mumbai. Business consultant, coach and corporate trainer. National Council member, Indian Society for Training and Development. Academic qualification, postgraduate in chemistry, Mumbai University. Diploma in Business Management. Master in Psychotherapy, Six Sigma Black Belt, Certified NLP Practitioner, Certified Assessor for Development and Assessment Centers, Area of Specialization, Business Psychology, Human Resource Management, Emotional Intelligence, Change Management, organizational development and business strategy, leadership development and employee performance, experience over 25 years of experience in corporate and manufacturing sectors, extensive work with micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, startups, and entrepreneurs, former chairperson of ISTD Navi Mumbai chapter, expertise in business consulting, coaching, and corporate training, experienced workshop facilitator, delivering customized programs, combines business strategy with behavioral science for organizational transformation, active contributor to professional training and development through ISTD, visiting faculty, various management institutes and engineering colleges. Welcome, Mr. Neil Ramesh, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Pranali, for the kind and elaborate introduction. Good morning to all of you. Namaskar, pranam to each of you, and my special acknowledgement and thanks to Sundar Jesaram Kataria Foundation under the able leadership of Sundar Kataria ji. I think it is always a pleasure to be on this platform where you are doing a huge humanitarian service, not only for the industry but also to humanity by spreading knowledge and doing a lot of social initiatives. So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart, Kataria ji. And my also thanks to the organization which is spearheading the whole thing, the International Certification Services Private Limited under you. And of course, this wonderful series that is Satgun Sangh Seminar. And it's really commendable to see this as the 281st of the seminars being held. That itself speaks for the whole endeavor and this whole initiative that it has come so far, and it's only the divine blessings that has taken it forward. So thank you so much, wonderful opportunity that you have given me on this platform. It's a privilege and a pleasure. So thank you once again, and welcome to each one of you, and it's really a pleasure. Once again, good morning to all of you. I'd just like to switch on my the Gayatri Mantra, which spells that only to bring light and illumination in our life through knowledge and learning. So, going forward, in the beginning, I would like to quote this, which is something very profound and which I really found it very, very impactful. That is, Brian Herbert, he put forward this saying, which very aptly says the capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill and the willingness to learn is a choice. So ये तीन जो गुण होते हैं, capacity to learn, it's a gift, and it's a gift that is coming from God. But the ability to learn is something that we develop. It's a skill which we develop. और जो इच्छा है, जो willingness है सीखने का, to learn, is of course again a choice which God has given us. We have that right or we have that freedom to choose कि भाई हम सीखे कि नहीं सीखे. So decision making again is something that is given to us. So it's a choice that we make whether we are willing to learn or not. And the very fact that we have all gathered here to share our experience and knowledge itself shows that we have the willingness to learn. So on this behalf, once again, I appreciate and congratulate each one of you for being part of this journey along with Satgun Sangh. So this topic that we are going to talk about today, I think it's a very, very enormous, elaborate and evolving topic. Okay. और आज के ज़माने में, आज के समय में इस टॉपिक की अहमियत जो है, it is very, very significant. And when I was asked to choose a topic, I was wondering what to take. कितने सारे topics हैं. Now this is something which is close to my heart because this topic is evolving and very much required in today's times. So as it was spelled out by Pranali and communicated to you, the topic is the future of leadership, why empathy is the new superpower. Okay. So the leadership which is there, we are all leaders, right? हम सब अपने अपने level में in different levels. I don't know, it would have been better if we could have interacted आमने सामने और कोई session ऐसा हो, but all the same today with technology we are connecting remotely through the digital platform. Maybe we will not be able to interact much, but of course I look forward to the question and answer session later on. But when we are talking of leadership, we are all leaders and we all are leaders in one way or the other. First of all, we are leader to ourselves. Okay, कि हम अपने आप को कैसे मैनेज करें, संभालें, अपने आप की सारे जरूरतें कैसे पूरे करें, how do we deal with others, how do we behave, how do we conduct the so many things, and in that our own way of being itself is also a leading ourselves. और उसके बाद दुनिया में हम अकेले नहीं है, we connect with so many people starting from the family to everyone outside. It could be family, it could be elders, seniors, juniors, friends, peers, and then ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर टीम मेंबर्स हो गए, टीम लीडर्स हो गए, बिजनेस के अंदर और लोग हो गए, कस्टमर्स हो गए, सप्लायर्स हो गए, सारी सोसाइटी हो गई. सो वी कीप ऑन एंगेजिंग, इंटरैक्टिंग, और हर एक इसमें अपनी लीडरशिप का गुण आता है. And today's world, when we are talking about this leadership skills, whilst we have other competencies, कई सारे बातें हैं एक लीडर को होना पड़ता है. There are so many things that are there which are different skills and competencies, but in that there is a super skill that is evolving today, is what we are trying to explore today. हम इसके बारे में थोड़ा चर्चा करेंगे, बात करेंगे. On the topic future of leadership, why empathy is the new superpower. Am I audible? Is it okay? Am I going okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, wonderful. So this is the statement which is the triggering statement. Okay. My screen is changing, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. Yeah, all okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I may not be able to really get the feel of it. Yeah. Thanks for acknowledging. So this statement which I have put here is something that should provoke some thought in our mind. And it is something on this that we are going to talk. That empathy is not weakness, it's a superpower. Okay. So in today's geopolitical scenario, economical scenario, today's competitive world and all world where you call it as VUCA, which is totally uncertain, volatile, all these things are there. And especially from post-COVID to even today, if you see, things are always uncertain and ambiguous, and all these things are there. So in a state where everything is in a turmoil, okay, or where very being to our whole connect with this world, chahe kuch bhi ho. So let's look at this aspect of empathy, the statement that empathy is not weakness, it's a superpower. Let's understand this. What does it mean? Now, can I start with an interaction? Are you all familiar with the word empathy? If someone can just one or two, if you all can just respond, it will be good. Because I think people, we all know this word empathy, okay, and maybe we are also having those skills, and we are practicing it. Is it okay if someone would be kind enough to respond?
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Empathy, basically, nowadays, the kind of leadership has changed to kind of service and service oriented to help the people to have have a complete understanding of their emotions, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence plays a very wide role in leadership nowadays, and also taking care of the needs of the people under you, your team, and whatever they are motivate them. So all this come under the word empathy holistically and not very specific on a word empathy, but it is basically to see to it that others' needs and your needs are taken care of. And we live under a very good social umbrella where everything is a give and take and policy, and everybody has a motivating feature in their life, which helps them to
Very
keep
true.
moving.
Thanks. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Dr. Suresh.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
for that. I think you really said it. Uh, and maybe I think there is something in the chat also. Let me have a look at it, because understanding others, yes, of course, yes. And empathy is sympathy with human touch, always by respect. Okay, in one way, yeah, maybe that's the beginning, but good. Thanks for sharing that. I would have loved to take everyone's this, but only because of time paucity that we need to move on. Thanks for it. So, so this is the scenario today. If we are really looking at it, if you're really looking at the scenario today, the way it is, today's world itself, it's a tumultuous world. It's totally in turmoil. Okay, nothing is static. Things are so, what you call, uncertain. There is nothing like, somewhere you can very firmly say this is going to happen and this is not going to happen. And we all know the phases through which we have all gone. Okay, the pandemic, the economy, the war, the divisive politics, the changing nature of work, and of course the continued uncertainty. Now what happens is we are all human beings. Okay, let's understand something that God has given us, which is emotions. Okay, now emotions are something which is part of us, whether we like it or not, or whether we say it should not be that we should be emotional. That is, हम कह सकते हैं कि हम emotional नहीं होंगे, but then it is not so. Whenever we go through various situations of life, okay, life itself is all about change and difference, as the nature itself is. So the nature itself, what you call, represents diversity, it represents complexity, it represents various colors, seasons, flavors. So these are part of it, whether it is something in the nature or with our own life. And in that, when we go through that, when we experience it, because we are part of it, okay, we are not aloof. It's not that we are covered by everything, that nothing touches us. We do experience. In that situation, emotion is something which is very integral of us, and we do get emotional. So in all these circumstances, situations, emotions get generated, and it is something very normal. Because if there is no emotion, there is something that is devoid, then I think we are not to be called as human beings. The word human beings itself shows that it is something which is emotionally connected or emotionally embedded. Okay. And that is something which is very much there. And these emotions are something which actually makes, breaks, motivates, creates, everything, inspires, drives, all these things. If you just remove the emotions, we will become like robots. Today, in the world of AI, you have robots which will only follow instructions. Okay, emotionless. It will only follow the instructions, it will just do transactions for us. It is very high on IQ. How it can be? Because something that is fed into it, it will work on it and give it back to you. But these emotions are what really adds a flavor. It is just like आप वो खाना बना रहे हो, सब कुछ उसमें डाल दिया, but अगर आपने उसमें सही तरीके से मसाला और नमक और वो नहीं डालते हो, तो वो जो फ्लेवर है, that really makes it palatable, that really makes it go, something that we say, oh wow, kya cheez hai. Otherwise, it's bland. If you just put every good thing, you may add everything that is good for you in your for your health. But अगर उस बात नहीं होता उसमें वो जो taste जो आता है, and that's something with life also, emotion. I'm just talking about it, not that you don't know, but the point is we should respect and we should acknowledge that this emotion is something which is part of our game. And that's what is said here. And these emotions undoubtedly have an impact on people's engagement at work. Now, we are talking at work because we are talking of leadership. Otherwise, people's engagement is at every stage of your life, whether you interact with your family members, with your friends, with your peers, with your work colleagues, boss, or customers, or anywhere. It's that engagement. And this word engagement we jo hai na, we need to really understand. Engaging is not just connecting. It is just like gear जब बोलते हैं ना, how it enmeshes पूरा, ताकि वो जब perfect बैठते हैं ना, then it really वर्क सो स्मूथली और उसमें इतना सिंक्रोनाइजेशन होता है. एंड दिस इमोशन इज व्हाट रियली बॉन्ड्स. बाकी दो लोग पास में आके करीब बैठेंगे, कितने घंटों बैठ सकते हैं, हम भी यहाँ एक दूसरे को सुन रहे हैं, बट अनलेस वी एंगेज विथ आवर सेल्स एडमिट थ्रू आवर इमोशंस, oh yeah, see, this person is talking something, I am able to connect with it, with my emotions, with my experiences, और तब जाके सो जब ये एंगेजमेंट नहीं बनता है सही, इट हैज बीन ऑब्जर्व दैट ओवर अ पीरियड this particular thing, because of various reasons. What is the reason? जो ऊपर हमने बोला है, because of the changing environment, uncertainty, the divisive politics, change of work, the way we do today, connect, social media, and so many things, the actual engagement has dropped over last few years by over 32%. And also that 17% of the employees are actively disengaged. That means they go through the ordeal. I think, needless to say, you can, I don't know, you would have heard or seen or experienced, even when in case of marriage, हाँ शादीशुदा है, वो जी रहे हैं, चल रहे हैं, लेकिन देर इज हार्डली एनी एंगेजमेंट. बस आप अपने काम कर रहे हैं, आ रहे हैं, खा रहे हैं, सो रहे हैं, उठ रहे हैं, मियाँ बीबी के जैसे रह रहे हैं, साथ में रह रहे हैं, दैट्स ओके. इवन जॉब में भी जा रहे हैं, भाई क्यों जा रहा है. See, I'll give you this example. In the train, once I used to just talk with few people कि भाई कैसे चल रहा है, नौकरी क्या है, क्या करे यार, हम जा रहे हैं नौकरी, पापी पेट का सवाल है. एंड देन इफ सम ट्रिगर, अरे क्या यार वो कंपनी, क्या है वो बॉस है यार, वो कैसा है, पीछे है, ऐसा है, वैसा है, क्यों जा रहे हो भाई, फिर क्या करे भाई, पापी पेट का सवाल है, जाना तो पड़ता है, सवेरे उठ के पूरा मगजमारी रख के जाएंगे. यू विल गो फॉर वर्क बट यू आर नेवर एंगेज्ड, यू विल जस्ट ड्रैग ऑन. So it is observed, especially and more so in today's generation, the Gen Zs. The disengagement is so rampant that today this need has been felt today, that to be engaged is very important, because you will easily find that the situation today leads where you will get lost in the maze, and then you will be only like doing your ordeal, but with total loss of that whole charm, the whole essence of it. So let's look at this. I will just want to again refresh upon you. Maybe some of us use the word sympathy, but let's talk about this empathy a bit. I'm not going to deep into empathy, but we are going to just restrict or talk more on empathy with respect to leadership and why today empathy is really the superpower. So the word empathy, if you talk, there is always this confusion when you look into the meaning. It talks sahanubhuti, but actually it is samanubhuti. Or if you talk a bit more, if you have to define empathy in leadership, it's there for you on the screen. Empathy in leadership is the ability to understand and share the feelings, perspectives, and experience of others. So it's not about sharing of feelings, perspective, and experience, but the first word, it's an ability. So when you say it's an ability, it's a kuat. Ye ability or skill, it is something that we need to develop. A skill can be developed. Okay. Emotions we all have, but how do we really channelize our emotions? How do we use that emotions? For what? To understand and share the feelings, perspectives, and experience of others. That is what really the whole crux of leadership. Leadership is not giving direction to people. It's not just taking people along with you or giving them a whole goals and all those things. Everything will happen. Yes, those are important. But more importantly, when you talk about empathy with respect to leadership, it's the ability to understand, share the feelings, perspectives, and experience of each other. ये हिंदी में भी सही तरह से यहाँ पे लिखा गया है, किसी अन्य व्यक्ति की भावनाओं, विचारों और अनुभवों के को उसके दृष्टिकोण से समझना. दैट इज द crux of it. It's not from our point of view, because we as human being, everyone have our own perspective, understanding, experience, way of observing, अनुमान लगाना, निर्णय लेना और judgment करना. We can always do that, but if we look from our point of view, we might miss on what is actually the thing, and that is where the whole story starts. Okay, so दूसरे के दृष्टिकोण से समझना और महसूस करना. The word महसूस करना, that means you need to really understand. I think some definition also says it's like putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Okay, all these statements are there. I think we have a really uh, group which is, I think, quite what you call experienced, and you have your own understanding. This is just to reinforce. It's not like teaching you something about empathy. Yeah. So, some more thoughts which I would like to share is it goes beyond simply acknowledging someone's emotions. It involves actively seeking to understand their needs. So, it's going beyond your own domain. अपने से बाहर निकल के दूसरों की तरफ हाथ बढ़ाना, दूसरों की तरफ एक समझने की एक जो चाह है, उसको आगे ले जाना. क्या समझना है हमको? उनकी जरूरतें, और उसके हिसाब से हम रेस्पॉन्ड करें. और जब हम वो करते हैं, इट फॉस्टर्स सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट तीन चीज, दैट इज ट्रस्ट, कनेक्शन एंड सपोर्ट. So ये दो aspect है which we need to distinctly understand. That is, emotion differs from other emotional responses like just sympathy. Sahanubhuti, yes, is feeling bad or feeling whatever emotions. It may be feeling happy, feeling sad, feeling bad for someone else's situation, but that's what it is. It's just that you are being impacted in that feeling, but it really doesn't help in the situation or the other person. You still remain where you are and just feel bad, sad. Okay. So it's not about feeling pity or sorrow for someone's situation without truly understanding their perspective, why someone is behaving the way he or she is behaving, why he or she is doing what she or he is doing. That's very important. And emotional sensitivity is being acutely aware about others' emotions without necessarily knowing how to engage or respond effectively. That sensitivity itself, to be very, very closely aware about others' emotion without knowing also. You may not know how to engage, but the fact is, first, samjho to say. That's what it means. Okay. I hope it's uh, coming across. Hello. Is it coming across okay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let's look at this part of it. We're talking about the role of empathetic leadership in shaping modern Indian workplace. I would like us to come back to what we are supposed to discuss today, which is basically the role of empathetic leadership in shaping modern Indian workplaces. So, talking about this is something we need to understand. And leadership today is evolving, as I said. It is evolving with respect to the changing times, the changing work environment, the changing geopolitical environment, the business environment. Okay. The whole environment is changing. And when some things are changed, its own dynamics also change, then its give and take changes, its demand changes. So hence today leadership is evolving to meet the demand of the workplace that looks different from what it was some years back. There are key things that if you see, which I've put it in red, that is cultural shifts, technological advancements, and changing employee expectations. Now, these three are playing a very key role in today's scenario, social or geopolitical or business, whatever environment it is. All these three are playing a very key role. There is a big cultural shift from the traditional way of looking at things today, when the whole uh, world has become, so small, it's so connected. People transact, people move, people interact through the technical advancements. Okay, the things have become so closely connected. And also today organizations speak on gender diversity, equity, okay, fair justice. All these things are some cornerstones of cultures of organizations. So the diversity is becoming a big thing. So which means what? People from all over the world are converging, are coming all over. They're moving over for jobs, for business, for travel, for tourism, for so many things. And hence the cultures are getting mingled. It is getting changed. We copy those culture, our culture influences others, the Western culture influences us. And then there are so much of enmeshing, just like when you rub, you transfer each one's nature to each other. So that's what's happening. So there is a cultural shift, and especially with today's generation, the Gen Zs, the cultural shift is so dynamic, okay, that it's very difficult if you just try to compare with what was happening. कि पे हमारे जमाने में हम तो ऐसे करते थे, but the Gen Zs are a total different breed. And then, of course, to make it still more complex is the technological advancement. जबकि technology अच्छी होती है, it helps us make things faster, accurate, everything. But at the same time, it is also having its own impact. Today, we all know, I don't know, I go to colleges where you see a very big impact of technology, where you use Chat GPT, and there are so many new versions of it, where students totally अपना हाथ से लिखना पढ़ना तो पूरा बंद ही कर दिया है. They totally depend for everything, assignment to exam, on Chat GPT. And they are so open कि सर हम वो करेंगे करके. So it becomes another way, more than the textbooks which we used to take. Today hardly they carry any textbooks. ये तो छोड़ो, notebook भी नहीं होता. Everything is today digital. So yes, whilst it is good, the caution, as we all say, technology is a good tool but a bad master. Okay, you can use Chat GPT, everything, but अगर हम उसके गुलाम बन गए तो it will drive us. And हमारा पूरा ये जो part है, where we are emotionally connected, our engagement will lose. Then we will become like robots, and that's what's the threat that is coming. कई सारे debates होते हैं colleges में, is it a boon or a bane? Okay, ये सही है गलत है, how should students get across? Are changing. Standard of living today, it's a world of fast. The faster the better. Today आज सारे ऑनलाइन है अपने पास में. रात को 12 बजे भी हम सोचे कुछ मंगवाना है तो you can order. You feel like eating something, you can get something. You need some printout right in the midnight 12, you can blink it. There are so many things that are there, I'm not naming it. So the expectation is changing. Now the same thing is applied everywhere. Now that's the problem. The today's generation applies that everything should happen fast. But nature has its own cycle. If something you force feed it, which you see in everywhere today, okay, even खाना पीना सब में आजकल झटापटी चाहिए. In the thing of mass production and shortening the cycle time, it is losing somewhere on the natural organic growth or the organic development. And that's what's happening to people. दिमाग लगाना ही नहीं है, रेडीमेड अवेलेबल है, so you don't even apply your mind. And same thing has gone everywhere, whether it is food or processed food, whatever it is. अच्छी भी है, but these are what's happening. And you want everything fast. Today, patience and resilience are taking a big hit in the current generation. They are not able to tolerate things. Make and break happens so fast. Marriage is taking a different dimension. So many things, relationship. So on all these, what's happening is these have redefined what it really means, and especially the same thing is coming to organization. What we experience, how to lead effectively, as rightly you also said, Dr. Suresh, the whole dynamics is changing. So leaders today are called upon not only to drive, okay, they are not only called today to drive results, because finally, this is somewhere that the results are something which still stays, because finally जब तक result नहीं मिलता है बाकी सब सही है बाबा, लेकिन नतीजा क्या है? Are we getting sales? Are we getting numbers? Are we getting profit? Are we earning money? That is the final bottom line, is very important. But leaders today are called to see that they not only drive results but also nurture relationship and create an environment where teams can thrive. So we'll go more, let's dive deeper into what it is. So the key changing, shaping leadership today, what are the key changes if we look at it? Three things only. There are so many things, but three things that I've picked up that we should look at it very, very objectively. First is the rise of hybrid work. Now we all know this come to stay post COVID, and also post all sort of economic and geopolitical and various scenarios, what is happening, the rise of hybrid work. Okay. Now hybrid work, for donkeys years we have used to get up in the morning, pack our things and go to office and come back. We are used to that fixed mindset of that time where we go sit in a place, disciplined, बैठते हैं, यूनिफॉर्म पहनते हैं, बॉस आमने सामने होता है, सब कुछ होता है, मीटिंग होता है, एवरीथिंग इज इन एन ऑर्डर, देयर इज अ लंच टाइम, देयर इज दिस टाइम. इवन फॉर कॉलेज स्कूल्स के लिए भी there are certain protocols. From that, there is a sudden shift that has happened to things like work from home, and then there are flexi timings and so many things. So ये सुनने के लिए अच्छा लगता है. It's good. Okay, oh wow, हमको freedom मिल गया है, flexibility मिल गया है. But the cons of it, ये सब pros है, but the cons of it is it calls for certain amount of responsibility, accountability. Freedom without responsibility becomes chaotic. So a rise of hybrid work is sudden shift in the whole thing. So how do we manage and carry the same thing? Because अगर हम उसमें lose हो जाए, so then our own performance gets affected, our own mindset. We need to understand this, and this, it's going to only increase. Today a lot of post COVID, lot of offices shut ho gaye hai. Many of them have shifted to online. Many functions have become totally online, remote, virtual, all these things, except for some core processes like of course manufacturing and maybe some meetings and where you really need to come together, but that's very limited. This has brought in the dynamics ki how do you engage with people, because out of sight is out of mind. You always feel that, अरे भाई ये तो है नहीं, इधर देखता नहीं है, तो really you tend to slowly drift away. The second is increased awareness of mental health. Now, this is very important. All this again, this COVID aspect, post COVID, the whole person, the way of looking at life has changed. Importance is now given to more of life, work-life balance, mental health, especially because you would find so many cases of even young executives. You would have heard about the case in Bangalore about a girl who was with Ernst and Young. She was really young, and because of the work pressure she suffered the heart attack. That's not the age to get that, but today that's gone, the rule. Today even 20, 25, 30, you are subjected to so much of work pressure. Hypertension is becoming, you're losing your entire thing, balance. So because of that, today the whole focus also in the organization and the world is towards mental health. And that's why so many initiatives, changes have happened where it is seen how every employee person looks into the well-being. So all these have some ingredients which is shaping up leadership. A leader needs to take care that there is a change in the work dynamics. There is something that you have to look beyond work and results into the well-being of the employees or people. And the third is manage diverse and multi-generational teams. Now that's the reality today. The different Gen Zs have to, I mean, the generations, have to work together, and it's really difficult because mindset alag hota hai, thought process alag hota hai, but how as a leader you manage all different schools of thought, diverse also, diversity is there, different backgrounds, experiences, races, everything. And multi-generational is what I said. You some I need to have today it's a thing where three generations are there together. So these are all adding to the complexity of what is happening. Now, this is something where LinkedIn carries a survey. I'm just sharing the latest from 2020, and that's where the whole thing shift has happened. From earlier, it was more of hard work, okay, teamwork, and certain other things, results and all, to today, the key competencies that have evolved today, if you see post 2020, and it still goes strong, which LinkedIn carried a survey, is these five, where you will see earlier emotional intelligence was not at all there. That has come very significantly into the picture today. So it's creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. So this is really becoming the need of the hour. So this is what is the changing thing that has happened. So everywhere now the focus of new leadership, which is there, is to bring in all these aspects. Creativity is again something very much required. Now, but all these things, if you say, although number five, emotional intelligence is the bottom, but that is what holds all these up. अगर 1 2 3 4 सही सलामत रहना है तो ये पांचवा जो इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस है वही सही रहेगा तो ही ऊपर वाले चाहिए होगा नहीं तो योर क्रिएटिविटी विल गो फॉर अ टॉस आई विल शो ए वेरी गुड स्टेटमेंट where Mr. Nadella had said that innovation, there is a saying or the this which is quote which is there, which I'll share with you subsequently. He says emotional intelligence is the base for innovation. Satya Nadella. So if you creativity hona hai, persuade, if you want to persuade, because today you can't just order someone. You need to persuade people, and how will they agree to do something or to align with you? It's only when the engagement happens properly, you understand each other. Collaboration can happen only when there is an adaptability. All this, the foundation or something that holds or promotes it is emotional intelligence. So let's understand the shift, what is happening today. These terms, two terms which I have picked up for you all. It's the movement. Of course, technical expertise is required. You need to have technical knowledge, understanding of the subject, how to do certain things. That is there, technical competency, no doubt about it. But the make technical expertise really work or flower or to leverage the potential, you need something beyond the IQ and the technical expertise, which is the EQ, and which is nothing but relational intelligence. Now, what it means is, as I've just spelled out here, it's building trust and psychological safety within the teams. There is a this word psychological safety is nothing but it's the mental safety where you feel safe, where you feel good, where you feel free to work, where you know that you're valued, your thoughts can be expressed, where your thoughts or your suggestions will be taken in, and you can do it without any fear or bias. It's a very, very sensitive thing, but it's very difficult. So unless you have that trust and that psychological safety, those other things, what we saw, this will not happen. Navigate conflicts and differences with empathy and fairness. Okay. And inspire loyalty and long-term engagement through genuine connection. Now, today, let me tell you what's happening in this world. Marriage itself is on the rocks. That means, first of all, the institution of marriage has lost its own the meaning of it. Today, marriages are breaking. So when you talk of long-term engagement, why I used marriage? Because marriage is supposed to be a long-term engagement, right? And loyalty is again one thing. Earlier, I used to remember at the beginning stage when my dad and all used to work, they used to remain in that organization and retire in that organization. They were loyal. People joining a good organization like the Tatas or something, they join and they retire because they know that they are taken care thereof. It's an organization to be with. Today, things are changing. This world loyalty itself has lost its whole significance. Although it is important, it's lost. Why? Because the dynamics are such that if you don't make it happen, then the loyalty thing is lost. You are just there so long as your needs are met with, your aspirations are met with, and it's both ways, okay? Give and take. It becomes transactional. It's no longer that relationship. So that what's happened. So inspire loyalty and long-term engagement through genuine connection. Now believe me, everything builds on relationship. So this genuine connection is what lasts. Otherwise, it's superficial. एक हवा का झोंका आएगा and it will just break off. And that's what happens today. So let's look at a bit about emotional intelligence. I am not going to go into details, but we should know what is this whole thing that we are talking of emotional intelligence. There are 5 aspects that I would like to say. First is social skills, self-awareness, there is an order to it, though I have listed it in this way. It starts, these 5 things which is seen here. The very first thing is self-awareness. Okay, that's how the quadrants are. It's a 4-quadrant thing, yeah, which is promoted. Self-awareness. First thing, you should be aware about yourself. When you say yourself, means that I am a human being, a person with emotions. I have emotions that I can get angry, I can get upset. And when in your being, in your transaction, in your daily thing, you should become aware of the emotional states that you're going through. हाँ, अब मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है, मुझे ये चीज अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, मुझे बुरा लग रहा है, मुझे दुखी लग रहा है, मैं भयभीत हो रहा हूँ, मुझे अफसोस हो रहा है. All these things which are there are, you should be aware about the emotional states that you are going in. पहली बात है जानना. कई बार लोगों को ये समझ में नहीं आता है कि मुझे गुस्सा होता है. दे जस्ट बर्स्ट, भड़क जाते हैं, हो जाते हैं, बट दे आर नॉट इवन नोइंग दैट दे आर गेटिंग एंग्री. It just हो जाता है. That means what? Your emotion is overpowering you. It is not, you are not in the steering seat. Your emotions are driving and you're just going the way it is taking you. And that's why many a times after your outburst you regret and you say, अरे यार अफसोस हो रहा है, आई थिंक मैंने कुछ ज्यादा ही बोल दिया यार, मैं नहीं बोलना था. I think I did. And let me tell you, in my experience, I also go for counseling. I go to some of the jails here in Navi Mumbai. We have this jail in Taloja, where a lot of inmates are there waiting for, hearing. Some are also very hard in trials where they have committed some crime, including murder. While talking to them as a counselor, the first thing that they say is, of course, they look out for dates. That is the first thing they want. Second is they are in remorse or regret. अरे बॉस, पता नहीं था यार, उस टाइम में मेरा दिमाग खाली हो गया, मैंने तो सोचा ही नहीं, मैंने तो बस सीधा कर दिया. And then they regret and they are facing the consequence. Many a times, it just like the arrow. जब तक वो छूटता नहीं है तब तक ठीक है, बट एक बार छोड़ दिया तो वो तीर तो जाके लगेगा, और उसके बाद वो जो भी असर होता है, you have to bear with it. But then counseling helps you to at least learn about it, understand, so that future में नहीं हो. So self-awareness. The second is, how do you take the steering back into your hand? Because emotions will try to take the steering wheel out of your hand control. सो आप उसको रेगुलेट कैसे करेंगे? नल को कैसे, कितना खोलना है, कितना बंद करना है, ये रेगुलेट करना है अपने को, कि कितना गुस्सा क्या होना है और उसके वजह से हमारा बिहेवियर क्या हो रहा है. Self regulation. So this also comes out of practice, out of understanding, daily reflection, review. हर दिन उसको फोर्सफुली अपने को करना है कि आज भी मुझे गुस्सा आया है, आज मैंने ये किया, नेक्स्ट टाइम लेट मी रिमेम्बर कि व्हेन इट हैपेंस हाउ एम आई गोइंग टू डू इट, लेट मी कंस्ट्रेन. It's like first it has to happen forcefully, then only slowly it moves to somewhere it becomes an automatic. Okay, let me give you at this point some beautiful things of how do you really evolve things. The first stage anyone is, I think I would encourage you all, if you are not aware about it, please take a note of it. It's very good. anything that you go through now, if you want to make a change, the first thing is when you talk about awareness, before that, you're a state of ignorance. What it means is you are unaware about it. So it is, you are not aware about the incompetency. Okay, so you're unaware about the incompetency. Then you become aware of the incompetency. Okay, and then the next you make a change in that competency or whatever you want to do by a forced thing. And then you go into a stage of auto mode where you become, that is from unconscious incompetency. Let me reword it for you. Unconscious incompetency to conscious incompetency to conscious competency to unconscious competency. Finally, it becomes a way of your life. Okay. The fourth one here, what we are talking is motivation and social skills. So when you are in control of yourself, you are in driving seat, you can take the vehicle wherever you want. भले वो speed breaker आए, rough road आए, slope आए, चढ़ाव आए, you are in control. Then you know that मेरे ऊपर है, accelerator दबाओ, brake दबाओ, क्या करूं? So, and then you move on to others. Social skills are all about transference of this to others. That means understanding others, why they behave that way, their emotions, their state. Because only when you like, तभी जाके वो मुलाकात होगा. अगर तुम सैड हो, कोई एंग्री हो, कोई हैप्पी है, कोई सैड है, you cannot join. Agar if someone is unhappy, you also need to come to that level of understanding his unhappiness or her unhappiness, then only it can join. And because तब एक दूसरे की समझ हो जाएगा, हाँ भाई मेरा मुख दर्द को तू समझता है, मेरी स्टेट को तू समझता है. And that can happen with that ingredient which is called fifth one, which is empathy. Yeah. So that's what we are trying to understand. Okay, I'm just trying to explain this one thing. And let's understand this something which is very interesting. Okay, I want you all to know the three types of empathy. The first thing is cognitive, because everything starts here. It all starts with your thought process and with your mind. So the first thing is I get how you see it. मतलब मुझे ये ऐसा समझ में आ रहा है कि तुम्हें कैसे ये बात को दिख रहा है, या हाउ आर यू सीइंग इट, हाउ आर यू गेटिंग इट. सो फर्स्ट थिंग आई गेट क्लैरिटी इन माय माइंड कि आई डू अंडरस्टैंड योर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू और योर स्टेट ऑफ बीइंग. उसके बाद ये थॉट जो होता है, सी इट इज हाउ इट हैपेंस इज थॉट गिव्स राइज टू फीलिंग्स, इमोशंस एंड देन एक्शंस. पहले तो स्टार्ट वहीं होता है. सो देन आई फील व्हाट यू, ओके, आई फील व्हाट यू फील, दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंस. सो देन व्हाट हैपेंस इज फीलिंग के साथ जुड़ता है. पहले आप जो सोच रहे हो, मैं जो सोच रहा हूँ, हाँ तालमेल हो गया शुरू. सेकंड, आप जो महसूस कर रहे हो, अब मैं भी वही महसूस कर रहा हूँ. दैट्स वेयर रियल स्टार्ट ऑफ एम्पैथी स्टार्ट्स. Then there is a genuineness. It's not dikhawa, it's not just sahanubhuti, it's not temporary. It is something where you genuinely seek to help someone. So here it's an empathetic concern that I want to help you, I want to reach out to you by showing compassion. So compassion is something that comes from within. Okay. It's an act of kindness, act of support, act of helping, act of reaching out with concern that the other person should get the benefit. He or she should improve, should develop, should grow, should come out of a situation. So that's the genuineness. I hope you all are getting it, although we are going one-sided, but I would definitely like to have your thoughts and later on this. Okay. So let's get a bit fast here in this case. So the point, these three things, okay, very key things which I want you all to take it. Okay. These are three things which I will spend some time on it, which I want you all to understand. What do you commit to doing now. Now we are calling call for action. अभी तक थोड़ा बहुत ज्ञान कर लिया, but how do you bring it into practice is very important. Okay, so how do you commit? Now it's again the word is commit here. How do you do ne? जब तक आप अपने आप को commit नहीं करते हो, just like you want to do so many things. हाँ चलो मैं आज शुरू करता हूँ, जिम जाने को शुरू करता हूँ, एक्सरसाइज 2 दिन करते हो, तीसरा दिन डुप होता है. Why? Because you're not committed. So commitment is जब अपने आप को आप निर्णय लेते हो, पक्का करते हो कि यस मैं ये चेंज लाने वाला हूँ. This call for action is endorsed. It's like a signed agreement with yourself. Now, there are three things, okay? 3 words, if you see in red, we will talk. First is curious, that is being more curious and a better listener. Now, this is very important. Curiosity, na, agar aap utsukta. If you see, it is a inborn nature of man. छोटे बच्चे को तो आपने देखा होगा ना, जब वो छोटा रहता है, he or she is so curious. कुछ भी देगा हाथ में तो उसको तोड़ेगा, मरोड़ेगा, घुमाएगा, या कुछ रखोगे नहीं बोला तो वो छुएगा, चढ़ेगा, गिरेगा, कुछ ना कुछ. It's an inherent thing that we have. Why don't we bring it out for good? क्यों हम उसको दबा के रखते हैं, take things for granted, indifference. कहीं सारे धूल मिट्टी बैठ गए उसके ऊपर, छोड़ना, अपने को क्या फर्क पड़ता है, चलना, दूर रहते हैं, छोड़, वो कर रहे हैं ना, मरने दे. I'm just using these lay words. Why? Because the fact is today we have become indifferent. The curiosity in us, it is not about curiosity for the sake of only, दूसरे के क्या हो रहा है करके. It's curious so that it will lead to the next two. Please understand, it's a curiosity with a genuineness to reach out, to understand, to help, to support. उत्सुकता अच्छे भावना से. So when you're curious, you will try to reach out to that person, you will engage in a conversation, you will understand that person. That leads to a better listening. And let me tell you, this is one of the most important competency that we need, is to be a good listener. And तभी ऊपर वाले ने 2 कान और 1 मुंह दिया है. I think these are all statements which we know. लेकिन हम क्या करते हैं, इसको कम करते हैं और इसको ही चलाते हैं पूरा. हम अपनी बात रखते हैं, बोलते जाते हैं, कहते जाते हैं, ओनली आवर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. ये बंद तभी. ओनली इफ यू रिमूव ऑल द अदर नॉइसेस विच आर इनसाइड. अरे भाई वो बोल रहा है, सुन रहा है, समझ तो लूं कि भाई उसका कुछ तो अपना रहेगा, सही गलत अनुमान, जजमेंट नो. सो बट उत्सुकता ही इज द ड्राइवर. हाँ मुझे उसके बारे में, उसकी प्रॉब्लम, उसका क्या तकलीफ है, ये समझना है, जानना है, असलियत, हकीकत. तब यू विल बिकम अ बेटर लिसनर, क्योंकि उसके लिए तुमको सुनना पड़ेगा आपको. So the first thing is to generate that inherent thing in us, curiosity, to reach out, to listen, to know, to understand. And that itself is the mother of invention or creativity. आप क्यूरियस हो तो करोगे, अरे ये क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है, ये क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है, ये ऐसे क्यों कर रहा है. Human behavior is such a wonderful thing, but it is so complex. The more you understand, the more you know that there is so much more. The second most important understand after curious is हिम्मत चाहिए. The inhibition, as we say ना, अरे छोड़ना, क्यों परेशानी लेना है, इसको पड़े रहने दे अपने इसमें, क्यों उसके इसमें, जो अपने पास ही इतना कुछ पड़ा है करने के लिए. Why should we? That requires, my dear friends, courage. Becoming a courageous feeler, you have to step out. I will show a wonderful what you call uh, word which I will share with you. Someone's saying or phrase. Becoming a courageous feeler. That means what? It requires courage to listen to someone's story, someone's situation. कई बार वो अपने हिसाब से नहीं होता है. It's not the sweet thing. It's not the way we want. It's the way it is with them. Please understand this. उसके लिए courage चाहिए, हिम्मत चाहिए. And believe me, there is a wrong statement which I'll say that empathy is soft or empathy is cowardice. No, empathy is strong. It is a strength to understand people, to be vulnerable. Yes, this one word I want to use. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's a strength. Because only through vulnerability you can reach out to people and you can get support. जब तक आप आपके खोलोगे नहीं, we say we are in the false stage of holding on. अरे वो क्या बोलेगा अगर मैं खोलूं तो, मैं बताऊं तो, अरे मेरा वीकनेस बताऊं तो वो मेरा क्या लगाएगा, आई विल फॉल इन इज, अरे नथिंग। क्योंकि हर चीज को व्हेन यू इवन इफ यू रन, यू हैव टू टेक वन स्टेप बैक एंड देन यू गेट द मोमेंटम टू रन। विदाउट टेकिंग दैट वन स्टेप बैक यू विल नॉट गेट दैट होल्डिंग। सो एक स्टेप पीछे मीन्स अपने आप को प्रॉब्लम्स बताओगे, बोलोगे, तभी मिलेगा हेल्प। People many a times suffer, and it's the other way around. Again, you have to reach out. लोग बताएंगे भी नहीं, तो अगर बताना है तो तुमको कान दिखाना है, मुंह नहीं दिखाना है। So be a courageous feeler. And the third is again something, you just don't rest at that. We have to go to action. So that means be a catalyst for the outrageous change. It has to be outrageous. थोड़ा ऐसा वैसा नहीं है. You have to just go all out. You have to be the catalyst, because I will make that change happen. I will bring the good thing happen. I will see that he helps or suffers. So you take on that reins in your hand and see that your outrageous means going all out for that change. Now ये जो वैराग्य है, और ये जब होता है ना, तब जाके मैजिक होता है. Any new big things or great things happen only when these three things are put to practice. Otherwise, no. It can happen only when this happens. So these three ingredients, my dear friends, keep in mind: curious, courageous, and be a catalyst. Yeah. So we'll just move forward. This is something which I have already discussed. I just wanted to share with you all, because this is something most important in empathy, is the aspect of listening. Which one are you? Many a times, if you just see here, these are all the states where of we are. One is we always want to talk more about ourselves, कि मुझे पता है, मेरे को एक्सपीरियंस होगा, हाँ ये सब मेरे को भी मालूम है, ये मैंने किया यार, अरे तुझे ये कुछ नहीं है यार, ये ठीक हो जाएगा। अरे भाई मेरे को हो रहा है तकलीफ ना, तू बोल रहा है कुछ नहीं है, बट मेरे को हो रहा है। दैट्स वेयर यू आर लूजिंग ऑन द एम्पैथी. And many a time this happens also when there is a gap. Okay, when you senior talking to junior, बड़ा छोटे से बात कर रहा है, we underestimate, अरे ये मैंने तो सब देखा है यार, ये कुछ नहीं, हो जाएगा ठीक। अरे भाई हो जाएगा ठीक, ठीक है ना, लेकिन अभी आई एम एक्सपीरियंसिंग इट, आई नीड समवन टू हेल्प मी गेट थ्रू दैट. सो मेनी a टाइम्स कोई ऐसा जब चर्चा कॉन्वर्जेशन होता है, वी ट्राई टू टेक ओवर विथ आवर ओन एक्सपीरियंस. भाई हमारा एक्सपीरियंस हमारा है, इट शुड मेक अस वाइजर. Okay, not make us more wilder. Second is listening, as again I said many a times, हाँ हाँ करते हैं, सुनते हैं, लेकिन कान नाक सब बंद है, दिमाग बंद है. वी आर इन आवर ओन थॉट प्रोसेस. हम ऑलरेडी दूसरा कुछ बना रहे हैं, उधर कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं, अंदाजा लगा रहे हैं, एस्टिमेट कर रहे हैं, जजमेंट कर रहे हैं. वी प्रिटेंड टू लिसन, बट आवर माइंड इज somewhere else. We need to bring everything to focus. Then only we can engage with that person. Second is selective listening. हम वही सुनते हैं जो हम सुनना चाहते हैं, जो नहीं है, जो हमें लगता है ये तो पता है, छोड़ना है, इसका क्या सुनना है, कहीं और चल. अरे भाई हो सकता है कुछ पॉइंट हो जो नहीं समझ में आया हो, या कुछ नया हो ना, या रिपीट भी हुआ तो क्या बात है, इट ओनली रीइंफोर्सेस. सो जब इंटरेस्ट है तभी हम सुनते हैं, सेलेक्टिव. सेकंड इज, कुछ लोग लिसन इंटेंटली इतना ही के लिए टू स्लिप अप सो दैट दे कैन कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट. वो अपना ऑलरेडी जवाब तैयार रखते हैं, साल ये बोलते हैं खत्म किया कि मैं इसके ऊपर झपकता हूँ, इसको दो सवाल पूछता हूँ, इसको टपकता हूँ, मेरे को बताना मेरा क्या है करके. यू हैव टू प्रूव देयर पॉइंट. दैट इज एम्बुश, यू नो, हमला करने के ऊपर तैयारी रहता है. एंड द लास्ट इज डिफेंसिव. ये भी तकलीफ है कि अगर कोई फीडबैक दे रहा है, अच्छा बुरा भला जो भी बता रहा है, भाई वो बता रहा है क्योंकि वो चाहता है कि हम में कुछ परिवर्तन हो. सो रिसीव इट, देन यू रेस्पॉन्ड, डोंट रिएक्ट. बी नो 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 नो, ये ऐसा नहीं है, नहीं 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 नहीं, ये नहीं. बट वी से, लेट मी टेल यू, दिस आर ऑल समथिंग, it's nothing different, we all experience. So I just wanted you all to understand this aspect of, how bad are we in listening in these, each of these aspects. This was the thing that I wanted to share by a very famous person, Maya Angelou. What she says is, I think we all have empathy. सबको empathy है, दूसरों के बारे में परवाह है, करना चाहते हैं, बहुत कुछ है, more than सहानुभूति. सब कुछ है, बट क्या है, हम में वो हिम्मत नहीं है कि हम उसको बताए, दर्शाए हमारे बिहेवियर में, एक्शन में. सो वी मे नॉट हैव इनफ करेज टू डिस्प्ले इट. दैट्स व्हाट वी नीड. ओके. So this is a formula which I wanted to share with you, which is something I came across. It's not my own, but something that really I thought it's good. So what is emotional audacity? Audacity means what? जो हिम्मत की बात करता है, जो emotional audacity, जो दिखाने में वो धैर्य रखता है, वो क्या है? तीन चीज है. First is, of course, you should have empathy, which we have talked enough. Second, there has to be an authentic presence, मतलब दिखावे के लिए नहीं. Yes, I am there with you, by you, for you. That presence is, I am here mentally, physically, emotionally. That is authentic presence. Authentic presence is genuine presence कि भाई मैं सही में तुम्हारे साथ हूँ, तुम्हें सुन रहा हूँ, तेरे बारे में मैं I want to do something. And the third one is bold action. Action जब तक नहीं लोगे ये सिर्फ यहीं रिपेयर होगा. फायदा तब होता है when you transfer it into action, decision, actions, whatever it is. I hope you are getting this formula. It's something impressed me, so I thought I'll share with you all. Okay. This I'll just share the screen. I don't want to talk much because almost we have covered everything. I'll just go a bit quick because I would love that after the session we could have some good engaged interactions. So some 6 ways to show that empathy is at work. That is the call for action. That means how will you know that there is empathy which is happening there, that something is happening with an empathetic mindset in work. Okay, we are talking about a workspace now. The first is the questions that we put forward. हम किस तरह के सवाल करते हैं? क्या हम दूसरों की गलती निकालते हैं? क्या we only point out what is wrong, or are we stepping forward to help that person to recover, to correct, to introspect all these things? So the question is, what you should be asking is, how can I support you? Instead of ऐसा क्यों नहीं हुआ? That is the simple way. Instead of this, can we talk like this? Okay, it's not like this. It's like this part where you're taking him together. कि भाई चलो हम ठीक करते हैं इसको. मैं कैसे मदद कर सकता हूँ? सेकेंड, जब वो कुछ बता रहा है, anyone who is telling something, listen without interrupting or jumping to solutions. I think we have discussed this. Second, encourage mental health days, not just sick days. That means what? For years we have known to have only sick leave. Okay, बीमार हुआ तो ठीक है भाई, sick leave है, बीमार हुआ रह गया. Instead, are we also spending time to see on the positivity? That means preventive. Many organizations today in their organizations have space for workout, gym, relaxation, music, yoga. So many things are incorporated. Healthy food, time out, chilling time, this, that. All these time are included in the work. Big companies like Google and many more such good companies here, small or big, they encourage mental health because mental well-being is of paramount importance. Not just that भाई बीमारी के लिए दिन दो कि बीमार हुआ तो इतना sick leave है भाई, तो बीमार है तो ले ले छुट्टी. That's not what's going to help. The next is make time for casual chats. There are coffee tables, there are cafeterias where people are allowed to sit and discuss over a cup of coffee. It may be hobbies, it may be work, whatever. So make time for casual chats that aren't work related, because that is a positive distraction to only bring you back to focus. Please understand. ये distraction जरूरी है कि आप वापस जब आओगे तो more focused, energized रहो. The third is create a no stupid question culture. That means what? Encourage everyone to talk. There are many organizations which I have experienced जहाँ लोगों को बोलते हैं कि on any topic or anything you please tell. Okay, it's nothing judgmental कि तू सही बोल रहा है, बकवास बोल रहा है, क्या है. Let me tell you this very famous quote, what is there, where people have this mindset कि दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा रोग है क्या कहेंगे लोग. अगर ये रहा ना तो बस कहीं पे भी वो नहीं होगा. So you break that and encourage people, even if they talk stupidity. Don't criticize. Just take it. You may laugh, but take it forward as a humor and take it forward. Okay. Not belittle or demean something. The next is give credit publicly, offer constructive feedback that has to be done privately. Always praise publicly, reprimand privately. That's the mantra because it creates a big change. If you want to open up someone, motivate someone, or to correct someone, right? The next is ask. We have seen all this. So this is what I have just shared with you all. This is something you all know, but these are some simple things that you need to practice to show or make empathy work. Okay. Now, finally, I just bring back you to few of the this like a summation because I would like to take on some more good interactions with you all. So, empathy in a workplace of future. If you look at it, I would just read this out for you. As technology continues to transform the workplace and with advancement in AI, automation, and innovation, the importance of empathy will only grow. Okay. While machines can streamline processes and analyze, they cannot replicate human connection that under trust, collaboration, and meaningful relationships in the workplace. So understand this thing. Finally, what I put it in the red is empathy will remain a cornerstone of effective leadership. Okay. Ensuring that workplaces thrive in an increasingly digital and diverse world. So that's where the changing workplace is there and how empathy fits in. Okay. Although technology will continue to transform workplace with all those technological advancement and things driven by AI innovations, the empathy importance will only grow. So the statement is while machines can streamline processes and analyze data and all these things, they cannot replicate human connection and that understand these aspects of trust, collaboration, and meaningful relationships. So empathy will always continue to remain a cornerstone. So let's understand this further, how empathy in a tech-driven place is there. This is something we have discussed, but I want you all to just emphasize on this. As AI and automation take over the repetitive tasks, you understand AI or automation is very good to remove the monotony in our work. That is what repetitive task. कोई चीज बार बार करना, it could be billing, it could be invoicing, it could be ordering, it could be stock managing, it could be inventory control. यहाँ पे सब आप automation ला सकते हो. It will minimize human error, it will bring consistency, so all such a repetitive task. But dynamics जब handle करना है और human role, because it is finally humans managing humans, working with humans, along with humans. और तब जो होता है, that role which is there in our work environment will shift towards creativity, problem solving, and emotional intelligence. And all these areas are important. And in all this, the basis is empathy. Even I don't know how many of you know about what you call creative thinking and problem solving. And if you all know about all these things, one key ingredient in all this is empathy. Okay, when you talk about all these aspects there. So leaders will need to balance technological efficiency with human touch, ensuring employees feel valued and supported. This is very important because especially Gen Zs, if they are not engaged, they will not stay. They will just go fly off. You cannot keep someone back only by money. Yes, money is important, salary is important, and work satisfaction is important. But beyond that, the important is human touch, ensuring that each one is feeling valued and supported. In a world where roles and responsibilities are constantly evolving, you have so many multi-dimensional roles, you have responsibilities, so many things is there. So the demand is only high. So all the more you need to see that how empathy plays a very important aspect there. Some again phrases for you to this quotes which I want you all to this. I will just like to summarize the whole thing now. So managing a workforce of both humans and AI requires a new leadership approach. Leaders must balance efficiency with empowerment. Now, what is empowerment? Empowerment is nothing but transference of whole trust, understanding, ownership, accountability to someone else. It's not just about ordering. It's not just about a result. It's not just about, setting goals and giving directions. It's all about how do you make someone feel more empowered, and that is where you get into the whole aspect of trust, belongingness, and engagement. So it's the balance between efficiency. Yes, efficiency is important, but it should be with empowerment, ensuring that you use AI for enhancing the human potential. It's not for threatening. See, this had come in between. When AI came, people were telling, will people will lose jobs, or is it a threat or a boon? Yes, if to this change, welcome the change. That AI is something you have to get along with. You have to take it along. You have to master it, not allow it to master you. Master it. So these are all the mindset change that is there. And there, if you do it, then you use this as another powerful weapon for you to become successful or powerful. So it enhances human potential rather than replacing it. Adaptability, strategic thinking, and digital fluency. Now, these are some key ingredients to navigate the shift. So, I hope you're getting the essence of it. So, now here what happens is one slide before we close. Maybe we have about 5 to 10 minutes with me is the leadership challenge. That means what are the challenges that we face in leadership while bringing empathy into practice or into action? The first thing is the whole concept that being empathetic means that you are fragile, you are weak. ये दिमाग से हटा देना है. Actually, empathy is empowering, it is strength. Empathy will make you only bond better, engage better, represent better, do better. So this fear of appearing weak or overly emotional, this has to be removed. It becomes a mind block. अगर आप सोचे कि मैं कैसे किसी को बताऊं कि मेरा प्रॉब्लम क्या है, या फिर मैं कैसे भावुक बनूं, बिकॉज ये अपना सोसाइटी का इश्यू है सबसे पहला, है ना. सो इफ यू आर अ मेल, बोलता है ना रोना मना है, दर्द बताना है, सब कुछ सहन करना है. लेडीज ऑल्सो घोल के पी लेना है, अंदर ही रखना है. यू शुड नॉट शेयर, यू शुड नॉट टेल. नहीं बोलोगे तो कैसे होगा? इट्स बोथ वेज. So fear of appearing weak, it's a pseudo thing, it's a false thing over being emotional. Being emotional is normal, and emotions are what will really create the engagement if you use it properly to connect with people, understanding people. The second is need to balance empathy. It's not that being empathic means being loose or being, not able to manage. कि आप weak हो जाओगे, you're not a good leader. No, you use empathy in such a way so that it only adds to your own efficiency and authority. In fact, people will respect you more if you respect people. It's not about the position that you hold, your authority. I will tell you now about my experience today, what's changing in an organization where I was last working. The whole culture there was that maybe you also would have experienced that everyone, the office working culture is an open culture. Even the MD sits in a transparent open space. He or she is accessible, and you address every individual by the first name. There is no Mr. Sir, nothing. Okay, you call him by that name. That does not mean disrespect. In fact, respect हमको उनके लिए बहुत ज्यादा है, but it only means that only when वो जो इनविजिबल दीवार आप करेक्ट करते हो, सर सर बोलेगा, तो इट्स नॉट अबाउट यू बीइंग हियर इन हियर, इट्स ऑल अबाउट लाइक दिस. तब जो एम्पावरमेंट बनता है ना, पीपल गो आउट ऑफ द वे टू डू वर्क फॉर दैट पर्सन. So it's being empathetic, understanding. If something is happening, you reach out, check out how that person. एक दिन अगर एक बंदा नहीं आया, It's not okay, nahi aaya, theek hai, are, you please call that person, what is it not happening, kya hua, kyun nahi hua, or somewhere he or she has mentioned to you that something is undergoing. Check back whether he has overcome it. Can some help be given? Okay. These are the small but very significant things where you balance empathy with efficiency and authority. In fact, all the more you have authority, all the more you should be empathetic, because it's like they are looking, or the team is looking up to you for not only orders or controls, but for total hand holding and support. And that's where then that bond becomes so strong that you invariably become loyal and you stay. Then again, time constraint. This is a very big excuse. Time nahi tha. I think we are all victims of that. Ye 24 घंटे में you find people who are super efficient, people who are always crying and going against time. Kash time hota. Because in a fast-paced environment, balancing time, work-life balance, and to prioritize, I'm not going to time management. We all know that there are many things how you will manage time. So make time work for you. Don't become again into that vicious cycle. Second, solutions for cultivating empathy. Empathy again is something that you cultivate. It's to be what? It's a skill. So practice empathy right from home. Like charity begins at home, you start from your home. It's not that मैं यहाँ पे अलग है वहां पे अलग है. No, the same thing gets carried away. You cannot have multiple personalities. कहीं ना कहीं वो आप मुखौटा पहनोगे तो टूट जाएगा. So practice it, cultivate that empathy as a nature. Then reframe empathy. This is again reinforcing the same thing. Claim that being empathetic, being emotional, being empathy, caring for others is not a weakness. Sharing, caring, is a strength and not a weakness. And then integrate empathy with efficiency, you will see magic happening. If you support people, if you encourage, if you give feedback, positive, constructive feedback, things like that, it will make magic. Efficiency only will go up if you make people valued, important, and support them rather than criticizing or only pointing mistakes. So, last but not the least, prioritize relational skills development. And this itself is becoming a key subject. People, every employee is being exposed to communication skills, to emotional intelligence. These are all the training programs that are being given today. Some organizational initiatives I've just shared with you, few of them. Some companies you would see what all big and small things they are doing it. It's on the screen for you. Like Zoho does a lot of rural hiring, decentralization. They prioritize well-being over work, especially during layoffs and during pandemic. That's the initiative. TCS and Tata companies, they have a remote working policy, ensures work-life balance. Infosys gives a lot of support to the employees under their program of EAP for mental health. Then Wipro, there is something called as Mitra. So there is something like this group, that peer group, friendship group initiative, which will bond people together. Mahindras have given some awards for recognizing employees to motivate and make them grow, take initiatives. Bajaj Group during the COVID gave a lot of things, education. Many more big companies are doing it. And you could see the outcome and impact is always positive. Okay. It definitely enhances loyalty and some quotes I will just go through. These are the last few slides I wanted to share with you all. Some quotes are there. A very famous thing. Empathy requires something extremely difficult, accepting the fact that we are not and never will be the other person's shoes. Although a definition for empathy is putting yourself in other person's shoes, but it's very difficult to put yourself in other person's shoes. You have to practice it. It has to start with yourself and then you take it on. Okay. It requires something really, as I said, being curious, being courageous, and you need to be a catalyst. So, accepting the fact that we are not and never will be in the other person's shoes, there is no rational, universal course for this. You attending a session like that will not. It can only trigger some thoughts, but it is for you to call for action because it's individuals have different goals, they have different worldviews, different experiences. So we all come from different lenses. So, but it's something that you have to take it on yourself. That's what Satya Nadella said. Our core business is connected with customer needs, and we will not be able to satisfy them if you don't have a deep sense of empathy. So, see, you could see big organizations talking on this and consolidating on the aspect of empathy. Finally, these two statements, even as early as Mahatma Gandhi, I suppose leadership at one time meant muscles. So once upon a time, it was all ordering and that I am the boss. But today it means getting along with people, and that's nothing but empathy. So empathy is finally, it's not a title, it's not about the role. Today, leadership is what we need to understand this. The saying is very aptly putting that leadership is character. It's rolling up your sleeves. हाथ को ऊपर कमर कसना है, sleeves को उठाना है, help them reboot. We all know the computer language, right? You need to reboot, get your hands dirty, be a man, not a suit. In the means क्या, be a man means be courageous. उतरो, जब तक आप कीचड़ में नहीं उतरोगे, आपको नहीं समझ में आएगा दर्द क्या है, कीचड़ क्या होता है, दर्द तकलीफ क्या है दूसरे का. So that's what it is. And a few more verses. Empathy makes you a better innovator, again by Satya Nadella. And these are some averages. 77 of the workers would work long hours for an organization without complaint if empathy is shown, or the leadership shows empathy. Otherwise, the contrary is 80% of the millennials would leave for an organization because of bad leadership, non-empathetic leadership. See, statistics shows maximum people leave an organization not because of salary, but because of a bad team leader. Yeah. So that's the final year, the call for empathetic leadership. The final thing that I want to state, empathy is more than just a leadership trait. It's a transformative force that reshapes workplace culture, enhances team dynamics, and drives organizational success by fostering trust, collaboration, and understanding. Empathetic leaders can create environments where employees feel valued, supported, and empowered to perform their best. So, empathy today, the aspect is, it's not just a desirable thing, it's like become an essential thing. It's the foundation of effective leadership in future. So leaders need to embrace it, not only create thriving teams, but also position their organizations for lasting success. So thank you so much for patiently listening to me and empathetically listening to me. I hope it's open for questions or whatever you want. I hope I have stuck to the time. Sorry for few minutes. I have cut over. Thank you so much once again for the opportunity and for all of you.
Now I request all the delegates to unmute yourselves, start video and ask questions if you have. You may also type your questions in the chat box.
Can I take off the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'll just. Yeah, please. Maybe you all can share some experiences also, because it's something that I can learn. Only thing here, it's like that I am talking, but let me tell you, each one of you has his or her own experience, and everything matters. It's mutual. So it can be questions, it can be sharing, whatever is comfortable. Please, I would only be too happy.
I have a question. I am Suresh here.
Yeah, Dr. Suresh.
Sir, regarding sadism, in my experience, I have faced some sadist people. So, if I show empathy to them, uh, in my experience over the years, basically they are sadists. I am a very positive person. I don't know, that is people do that. But sadist, how to manage sadism or something like that? That's my query to you, actually.
Thanks for asking that, Dr. Suresh. Let me take one question further to you. When you say sadism, can you narrate the experience? How do you term it, sadism? Because it's something that has landed on you, okay?
Yes,
A
sir.
behavior of someone.
Yeah,
So, how do you,
basically, it's like this getting uh, everything being whatever suggestions being given by say for example me in the saying is rejected or uh, always finding fault or say for example uh, not smiling. That is the main thing. $1 million smile is one thing that puts a person and makes everybody at ease. And that person is also not a leader. I don't, or anybody don't report to him or something like that. So I think that was my experience. But in general, I may be wrong. I felt he's a sadist.
fine. I mean, we all are familiar with the terms of someone who's a pessimist or an optimist. All these things are there. Now, the word sadist means he represents himself or herself as a sad person. That means you get negative vibes of that person. Okay. He's critical about himself or others or situation, what it is. Now, it's easy said than done. I understand. These are some, you will come across such people. The fact is, see, let's also think of something very practical, okay? We are not here to change the world. That's the first thing. You cannot change anyone. Yeah. That's the first thing we need to understand, that we can only change ourselves. We can only create an impact or an influence or create an environment for someone else to recognize and that there is a need to change, unless and until that person comes to you for help. So that's what happens in counseling. A person into a situation where he or she cannot handle that seeks support. Now, here it's a person who has a particular behavior. Yeah. So, in that state, first of all, you will expect everything. These are all various people. We are not going into deep diving into the psychology of it. But the fact that we are impacted, we are getting impacted is something. Now, when you say someone is a sadist, means that particular behavior of that person impacts you. Now, it is for us to see how much are we engaged with that person, are we concerned. Now, for example, I'll just give you a very example. Someone going on the road or someone you're just meeting him once, right? And if you find his or her behavior not, it will say छोड़ना यार क्या फर्क पड़ता है इसको मिला गया आगे जाके कुछ लेन देना नहीं है. See, then you have a different ये. You don't reach out to everyone कि भाई मैं दुनिया को change करने वाला हूँ, हर एक इंसान को मैं ये करने वाला हूँ. Now, the fact is, when something is coming to you, it's bothering you, it's landed upon you in a way where you term someone as sadist. You need to do something about it. First, starting with yourself, is if that person is concerned and connected with you, you genuinely want to reach out to that person. Why is he behaving? There could be many reasons for it. People's behavior doesn't stem overnight. You will also appreciate it's right from their birth or even pre-birth. Let me understand. There are certain things which are there inherent, and then certain things which comes under your upbringing, your experiences, various experiences. You would find people highly qualified also, but the way they have been brought up influences their temperament. Somewhere, some people are highly critical, some people are highly sadistic in the terms that you have used, looking at only the negative aspects. Okay. Now, why they behave, there is a lot of reason. You need to dive deep to understand. Now, empathy comes where first accept that person as he or she is. Yes, that is the behavior. Now, the second thing is, if we have to get along with that person or do something, you will have to reach out to that person, understand, okay, why that person is behaving in that manner. First, empathize with him that when he says this is bad, you need not accept that that is bad, but you need to empathize, telling, oh, this is bad. let me understand here. I know that something is bothering you. This is bad. Okay, this is something you don't appreciate. Can you tell me something more about it? Why are you something, क्या है? मुझे भी तकलीफ समझ में आ रहा है आपका, बट आप बताओगे क्या है करके. That can trigger a conversation where you can dive deep. But that is only if you really want to do something. Mind you, you cannot change that person. You can only bring him to a point where he will start thinking for himself how his or her behavior is impacting him and others. How is it constraining his life and others' life?
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, it's better that फर्स्ट थिंग इज, अगर आपसे कुछ ये नहीं है, वंस न ये है कोई है, तो इट्स बेटर दैट यू अडेप्ट, काम निकालो, आगे बढ़ो.
Right, right.
आई होप यू आर गेटिंग दिस पॉइंट.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got.
People are different types है. You need to be, I will not use, but still I will use, you need to be selfish to that point कि how much you want to reach out. Use those three things: your curiosity, yeah, your courage, and your being a catalyst. Your curiosity will depend upon how curious you are to step into his world. If he is someone concerned, connected with you, you want him to be there, उसका रहना मेरे लिए जरूरी है, और उसका ये बिहेवियर उसको भी इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है, काम को भी इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है, मुझे भी इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है, तो देन लेट मी do something about it. That is where you need to wear the cap of empathy and start working with him. Okay? Because there is a reason inherent why someone is behaving the way he or she is behaving. Okay? And it is not something that can change so fast. So
Right, sir.
there is a lot of things that is there, but you have to work out on based on your need requirement, because all these people you will experience encounter in your day-to-day life.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I hope I'm giving you some.
Yeah. I got it, sir. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, please. I think someone has typed something.
Yes,
Let
sir.
me see.
There is a message from
Yeah.
Sundar,
Can you
sir.
read? Can you
Yes.
help me to read it?
Yes, sir. There is a
So then
message from Sundar, sir,
Huh.
that it has been a pleasure of listening you on very important topic of empathy to increase employees' mental health and enhance organizational efficiency. It's a message from Sundar, sir. And one more
Thank you.
question from Surendra, sir, that how can an employee demand empathy from a rude boss diplomatically?
Well said and very easy said than done. एक ही बात है कि he has to master emotional intelligence. There is no other way out of it. Because see क्या होता है सर, जब आपने एक चश्मा, the terms that we use are important. How can an employee, can you just repeat it just for the sake of all understanding this? It's a very significant thing.
Yes, the question is how can an employee demand empathy from a rude boss diplomatically?
Some words are very demand. You can never demand empathy, sir. पहली चीज तो ये वर्ड डिमांड थोड़ा अपने मन में आ जाता है कि दिस कैन बी डिमांडेड, यू कैनॉट डिमांड. क्योंकि डिमांड फिर क्या होता है कि यू आर ट्राइंग टू स्नैच समथिंग विच इज नॉट पॉसिबल. डिमांड नहीं हो सकता है. एंड एम्पैथी फ्रॉम ए रूड बॉस, विच इज अगेन अ जजमेंटल थिंग कि आप आपका बॉस को रूड ठहरा दिया. आई एम नॉट टेइंग ही इज नॉट रूड, बट दैट्स अ जजमेंट विच यू हैव सेड. सो ये दो चीज जब हम खेलते हैं ना, तो इट्स लाइक आप मैच खेल रहे हो लेकिन एवरी ऑड इज अगेंस्ट यू. आपको मैच जीतना है, विकेट गिला है, यू डोंट हैव समथिंग, तो इसमें मैच खेलना ही तकलीफ हो जाता है. सो बट इट्स अ वेरी कॉमन स्टेटमेंट वेर यू से हाउ कैन यू डिमांड समथिंग. सो द पॉइंट इज the word up demand, which I understand why you are using that, because that's an important thing that you expect out of your boss, कि आपका बॉस एम्पैथेटिक हो, रूड नहीं हो आपके साथ. अब पॉइंट अगेन सेम लाइक फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, हाउ मच इज इट इम्पैक्टिंग यू? द फैक्ट दैट ही इज रूड is impacting your work, your life, your peace of mind, your emotions. And he is rude, how much is it impacting himself? वो रूड है, बट उसको अगर फर्क पड़ता होगा तो वो रूड नहीं रहेगा. So somewhere some things are working from him. Being rude itself is wrong from his perspective. अगर वो सही बंदा है जो इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस एम्पैथी समझता है, तो देन ही विल बैलेंस इट आउट. It doesn't mean you should not reprimand someone. किसी का गलत हो रहा है तो वो गलत क्या है वो बताना है, एक तरीका होता है बताने का. So being rude can become a very negative thing. Getting angry is a positive emotion, but getting hyper upset and all those things becomes negative. क्योंकि किसी को बताना जरूरी है कि मुझे ये जो आपका बिहेवियर है, ये जो आपका काम है पसंद नहीं है, सही नहीं है. बी स्पेसिफिक टू द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ व्हाट इज नॉट राइट बिकॉज इट इज नॉट एज एक्सपेक्टेड. But you should not stop there. Go to the next level of making him understand ki what is expected and how you can help him to move to that. That closes the cycle. नहीं तो अधूरा छोड़ देता है. भाई मुझे डांट दिया, मुझे गुस्सा कर दिया, छोड़ दिया, तो भाई मैं अब करूं क्या? ये तो वही हो गया कि किया क्या पता नहीं, गलत तो हो गया, ऊपर से पूरा बर्बाद भी हो गया. बट ये दिस ओनली डिमोटिवेट्स यू एंड गेट्स यू आउट. सो इफ योर बॉस इज रूड, पहली बात तो ये बात समझना जरूरी है. नाउ इफ इट इज यू आर द अफेक्टेड पर्सन, द फैक्ट दैट ही इज रूड और शी इज रूड, वो है रूड, बट उसमें वो चेंज नहीं है, वो ही और शी इज कंटिन्यूइंग टू डू दैट एंड इट इज वर्किंग फॉर हिम. नहीं तो वो कहीं ना सी, जब दांत में दर्द हो रहा है ना तभी हम डेंटिस्ट के पास जाएंगे. कोई कर्टसी कॉल नहीं करता चलो भाई आज जरा डेंटिस्ट को मिल के आते हैं. तो बात ये है कि उसको अभी तक वो चुभा नहीं है. हिज बिहेवियर ऑफ बीइंग रूड इज working for him, or he has not sensed that this is doing harm to him. But the fact is हमको वो land हो रहा है कि he is rude because he is our boss. हमारे लिए वो तकलीफ है. And because of that it is impacting my work life, my personal life, my peace of mind. तो then अगर उस बॉस के साथ ही हमको काम करना है, एक बात है छोड़ के जाओ, बट तुम कितना नौकरी और कितना बॉस को छोड़ोगे? क्या गारंटी है कि दूसरा बॉस सही रहेगा? या यू कांट चूज योर बॉस. सो अगर एक बॉस रूड है तो फिर देन यू हैव टू टेक दैट एम्पैथेटिक स्टेप. ओके, गेट अ टाइम टू मीट हिम व्हेन ही इज रूड. टेक ए पॉइंट अगेंस्ट कि किस पॉइंट के ऊपर वो रूड हुआ है. यू नीड टू फाइंड आउट, इज इट योर वर्क, इज इट योर बिहेवियर, somewhere that is getting rude. If you find some connect to that, take that as the point and go to that person with an open mindset of receiving a feedback. टेल हिम सर ये आपने बोला है सर सही है, ये तो गलत है सर. मैं समझता हूँ सर आप गुस्सा तो हो गए, मुझे भी लग रहा है सर ये कहीं तो कुछ गलत हो रहा है. सर आपका गुस्सा जायज है सर, लेकिन एक बात बताओ सर मुझे, सर आप जानते हैं आपसे मदद चाहिए सर, आप मुझे कर सकते हो मदद. सी व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, यू आर रेजिंग हिम हियर. द मोमेंट यू रेज हिम हियर ना, उसका बाकी चीज नीचे आ जाता है. देन ही बिकम्स इन अ स्टेट, हाँ भाई ये मेरे पास आ रहा है, so now I am here. In that you're not losing your power. That is what I said, being vulnerable. Vulnerability only will help you to get support. सीख हो सकता है कि एक दो बार ये करोगे उसका ही दिमाग ठीक हो जाए. So you will have to reach out to that boss who's rude with the point where he has become rude, acknowledging that आप इस पॉइंट पे रूड हुए सर, कहीं तो मैंने सोचा सर, सर कुछ तो गलत है सर, लेकिन सर मैं इस पे कुछ कर नहीं पा रहा हूँ सर. आप रूड होते हो सर, एक काम कीजिए ना, थोड़ा आप बताइए ना सर क्या मैं करूँ तो ये सही होगा, और मैं सही में करना चाहता हूँ सर. देखो आप क्या मैजिक होता है फिर. आर यू गेटिंग दिस पॉइंट? इट्स अगेन समथिंग टू बी डन, बट विथ ए mindset which is sincere. Anything, sir, Sumit ji?
Yes, sir. So, first of all, let me compliment you, sir. You're an amazing orator, and people who missed the show or the lesson today have missed something. Amazing, sir. It was absolutely insightful, and I cannot thank you enough for taking this session. I have 2 points that I need to ask you. Point number one
Please,
is,
sir.
does empathy change with the kind of relation I am into? For example, my empathy towards my family, my co-workers, and the surrounding, would it change? Because it's all about human relations, and the more I am connected, the more empathetic I am with someone I'm connected. That's point number one. My question number two is, how do you inculcate so teamwork obviously is one part where you can connect or inculcate empathy, but other than that, are there any methods how you inculcate empathy?
I'll take the second question first.
Right, sir.
Again, मैं बोला ना sir, you cannot teach someone, you cannot per se inculcate that. You have to show it through your behavior. We can only do something to ourselves. दुनिया को we cannot change. The point is looking at us, people can change, sir. पहला शुरू में तकलीफ रहेगा, लोग निंदा करेंगे, क्या बेवकूफ है, क्या ये है. But over a period, they will see, because this empathy is going to have a big effect upon you in your own behavior, in your peace of mind. Just give me 1 second, sir. In your own peace of mind, द वे यू कंडक्ट योर सेल्फ. लोग देखेंगे, यार यार ये तो भड़कता ही नहीं है, इतना कूल है यार, कोई सिचुएशन में इसके पास जाओ, भड़ास निकालो यार, ये तो शांत है. कहीं ना कहीं इट विल क्रिएट एन इम्पैक्ट. दे माइट कम टू यू, भाई ये सीक्रेट क्या है. So the first thing is to work on yourself. It's very difficult to inculcate. Yeah, the point is we can do these sessions, so many things, create, show, share experiences. These are all where people can connect. Okay. दूसरा चीज है, हम अगर सही में करना चाहते हो तो अपने बिहेवियर अपने इसमें ही लाएंगे, तो दैट इज व्हाट विल इन्फ्लुएंस अदर्स. और ये स्टोरी नजदीक से शुरू होना है, परिवार में शुरू होना है. द वे वी कम अक्रॉस विद आवर चिल्ड्रन, आवर पेरेंट्स, आवर ये बोलना एक करना एक अलग होता है. बोलता है ना, ज्ञान देता है, लेकिन खुद में वो नहीं है. सो देन इट डजंट वर्क. पीपल विल ओनली से ये बोलता है लेकिन करता कुछ अलग है. इट डजंट वॉक द टॉक. सो इट्स वेरी वेरी important that you practice on yourself. This is one prescription where you put it on yourself. Okay, ज्ञान मिलना एक बात है सर, but we need to start, call for action, start small steps of again these 3 steps. This curiosity, एक छोटे बच्चे का भी अगर बात है. And again coming to your first question, sir, it all depends upon the commitment, the importance of the relationship. With family, what is the need, importance of relationship, what is it that you want. See, it's a give and take. Let me tell you, finally every human being is born selfish. There is no one other than, even God को छोड़ दो तो सब लोग सेल्फिश है सर. माँ भी सेल्फिश है, अपने बच्चा, मेरे बच्चे के लिए अच्छा होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, सब कुछ. कहीं ना कहीं वो इंक्लिंग ऑफ सेल्फिशनेस है. बट हाउ वी यूज दैट सेल्फिशनेस, is it for our good at the cost of others, or are we at the point where, इसलिए ये देख रहे हैं ना, छोटे बच्चों में भी बोलना नहीं पड़ता है सर सेल्फिश नहीं, ये मेरा खिलौना है, मेरा, कोई नहीं बताना पड़ता है. शेयरिंग बिकम्स एन इश्यू. सिबलिंग राइवलरी इज अ बिग थिंग. भाई भाइयों में सडनली आ जाता है तो दुश्मन बन जाते हैं वो. सो इट इज सो मच एन इश्यू व्हेन यू हैव टू शेयर सर्टेन थिंग्स विद अदर्स. प्यार बांटना मुश्किल है, everything जो भी है. I mean, it becomes so difficult. So each relation, as you say, is by its own need and requirement, give and take importance में है. And empathy basic same ही रहता है. It is all about the importance you give to that relationship. अगर वो relationship मायने रखता है तो आपको वो empathy करना है. And empathy means लिसनिंग, अंडरस्टैंडिंग, रीचिंग आउट, बीइंग क्यूरियस टू नो. अरे बच्चा, तेरे को क्या हो रहा है, तू आज एक दिन तेरा चेहरा झुका हुआ क्यों है, why is it that you're not done. When he or she gets you something, how are you curious to show that you care for him. हाँ ठीक है यार, छोड़ ना, क्या है, अच्छा ठीक है. हाँ, बॉस को नहीं बोला तो भाई वो इंक्रीमेंट है, हाँ ए बॉस आप कैसे हो, क्या हो, कैसे करते हो, बोलेगा तो क्या, फिर तो then that is where you see importance. So you can see through that the genuineness kitna hota hai karke, and that doesn't last long. So each of it has its significance. You have to make your own what you call steps and measurement based on your need and importance with respect to that relation. And it is very very personal, individualistic, because the dynamics is each relationship changes with and situation demands changes. So ये आपको trial and error ही करना पड़ता है. When I say trial and error, go with the intention first. Second, be genuinely curious. Second, have that courage to ask and tell. अरे वो क्या बोलेगा, मैं उसको कैसे बोलूं, मैं इसके आंखों में गिर जाएगा, मैं उसको बोलेगा, वो दो सुनाएगा, थोड़ा ना यार क्या करने का. दैट इज वेयर थिंग्स गो रॉन्ग. मैनिपुलेशन इज अ नो नो. अगर हम मैनिपुलेटिव माइंडसेट से जाए तो देन द थिंग इज लॉस्ट. एंड दैट्स वेयर वी सेड चाइल्ड लाइक. व्हेन यू से चाइल्ड लाइक, चाइल्ड में वही क्यूरियोसिटी रहता है और नो मैनिपुलेशन. जो भी है वो फट कर देता है, बोल देता है. एंड दैट इज द ट्रू थिंग, बिकॉज उसमें कोई मिलावट नहीं है. एंड ड्यूरिंग लाइफ व्हाट हैपेंस इज, हमारा एक्सपीरियंस, हमारा अपब्रिंगिंग, हमारा थॉट प्रोसेस, सब कुछ सिर्फ मिलावट लाता है. तो आर वी एबल टू कीप दैट experience in one, when we are engaging with others, go genuinely in reaching to that person in understanding. और वो भी सर वो रिलेशन की अहमियत के ऊपर है. सिर्फ काम तक है तो काम तक है, उसमें उतना डीप नहीं हो सकता है सर. जहां बिजनेस इट्स नॉट ए ट्रांजैक्शन, अगर ट्रांजैक्शन हो तो वहां लेन देन तक है, तुम खरीदा मैंने दे दिया खत्म. बट इट्स अबाउट समथिंग मोर लास्टिंग. सर आई होप आई एम एबल टू गिव यू सम.
Absolutely, sir. Perfect. Well taken, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, I think there's some more.
There's another question in the chat box.
Yeah, please.
Pranali, would you read it out or should I do it?
Should I read this?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please.
Okay, let me do it for you.
Thanks.
Again, the same question. It comes from Surinder. It says, is a reverse empathy from an employee termed as Chatugiri?
Again, I would ask you, give me some example. What do you mean by reverse empathy? ये अच्छा term है. What is reverse empathy?
So empathy from the employee towards the employer, I think that is what the meaning is, probably.
See, point वहीं पे होता है. अगर आप word empathy डाल देते हो तो उसमें से सब मिलावट निकल जाता है. See, empathy is pure. If there is empathy, then there is nothing. दोनों साइड में clean रहता है. So reverse empathy को again अगर empathy है तो चाटुगिरी नहीं होता है सर. So it's all about your mindset. How are you looking at it? Because see, everyone likes to, see, I don't know whether you know about, there's something called as Maslow's triangle. So वहाँ पे self esteem एक part होता है, where everyone has that point. Everyone wants to be recognized, appreciated, given a proper feedback, needs all that importance, because that is again a human need. We all need that in our whole growth journey. Okay, so basic होने के बाद somewhere self esteem, okay, is required, and social status, all these things. So it's both ways. Everyone expects that. Even I expect, सर. जब मैं बताऊं, जब आपने मेरे बारे में अच्छा बोला तो मुझे अच्छा लगा. कहीं ना कहीं अंदर से एक था ही कि भाई मेरा कैसे गया है बताओ. So you remove your word. I appreciate your word when you say Chatugiri. If it is empathy, then it is genuine. If it is only superficial, जहां पे आपको सिर्फ उसको खुश करना है और निकाल जाना है, काम चलाना है, निकालना है, तो then it means that only. So it is both ways. So whether it is this way or that way, it has to be with the genuinity of empathy. Empathy is genuine. Empathy means you really want to appreciate that person, you really want to acknowledge, you want to accept. Then only it works. Otherwise, it is then Chatugiri. Then it is not empathy. Then we recoin it. It's just a चापलूसीगिरी. और यार सत्य वहां पे empathy कुछ नहीं है. वहां पे सिर्फ मतलब निकालने से मतलब है. I hope you're getting some.
So I see there is no questions anymore, so we are going ahead. There is a message from Surendra, so nicely explained, so.
Thank you so much.
So we are going ahead. Before that, on behalf of entire ICS and all the participants present today, I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to you, Mr. Neil Ramesh, sir, for your insightful and inspiring session on empathy in action, the leadership superpower in today's workplace. Your session was engaging and gave us a valuable insights on the importance of empathy in leadership. We truly appreciate the time and effort you invested in sharing your expertise with us. Thank you once again for such a wonderful session. We look forward to learning more from you in the future, sir.
Sure, it's mutual. Thank you so much for having me. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
There is one more message from Train, sir. Very insightful session. Thanks, sir.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
And in fact, I appreciate each one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Amazing session, sir. Over to Pranali for that closing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, please go ahead, Pranali.
Yeah. So ICS is placed to provide you all this research and development, integrated management system, QMS, EMS and OHSMS, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu and Hindi. Our recent publications, first one is Urja, thermal, oil and gas, nuclear. And second one is Jung Se Jung Tak, fight with rust, corrosion causes and its mitigation. For reading any of the above books, please contact Ms. Sushma Gindalkar. Feedback form, please register on www.sadgunsang.org and go in your login and give feedback. Before closing, I would also like to thank all our participants for their valuable time and active participation. We hope you found the session informative and useful. Have a nice day.
Thank you once again, Neil, sir. It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Amazing session, sir. Really enjoyed every part of it.
Yeah, thank you. In case if it is okay, if anyone needs my connect or coordinates, we can do it through the
Pranali, just stop that now once again.
ICS can share to any of the participants.